Since its release, Nod-krai has given us some of the best art conquests. In Genshin Impact, Duna 1 and 2 delivered over each 5 hours of story, packed with revelation, emotional moment, and a massive cast of character. Even bringing back the enslaved, something we never seen this early in a nation. But now that Rerir and the White Aunt has been dealt with, what next for Nod-krai? Hello everyone, it's me, Pandragon Valimar, your Dragon Cyborg friend. Today I'll be sharing my theories and speculation about what might happen next in Genshin Impact Future Patch 6.2. Be warned, major spoiler ahead for Luna 1 and 2. Now then, let's get started. Throughout Nod-krai's story, Rerir and the White Aunt were our main threat. But now that they're gone, who'll take their place? There's one name that keeps surfacing in the background. Nibelung, the Doctor. He's been mentioned multiple times as Sandrone, elusive colleague. Even if his name isn't spoken outright, it's obvious who they're referring to. The fact that he hasn't appeared yet likely means he's working on something. And knowing Nibelung, that's never good news. Last time we saw him, he used Scaramouche and the Electrogenesis in an attempt to create a god. So whatever he's planning now could be even more dangerous. Especially since the Wanderer is in Nod-krai, seeking revenge. Here's my theory, and I'm sure a lot of people think this as well. Everything that happened so far, Rerir, Columbina regained power, the Moon Marrows, and even Varka falls lead to Amsvartnir, might have been part of the Tori grand plan. Sandrone once said she wasn't interested in the moon power, but her colleague was. That colleague is clearly the Tori. The Marrow are remnant of the moon goddesses, being created by the dragons. For someone obsessed with transcending humanity and creating gods, the Tori would be obsessed with them. He's likely been watching us from the shadow this whole time, analyzing every move, every revelation, and he's probably delighted by the result. During Albedo, the enslaved, outside the Rhinedottir, Tori would see them as perfect research subject. So yes, Rerir may have just been another of his experiment. And soon the Doctor will reveal his full hand. And remember, thanks to his clone, Tori has lived for centuries. What to say he wasn't there in Canriat himself during the time of Talendis and Rerir? Could he admit Rhinedottir before? Even though Rerir is defeated, his story is far from over. We still don't know where he was sent, or if Columbina himself even know. I believe he'll return and maybe meet other sinners, like Sotagologi, who's currently off-world but only on later patch. There's also the mystery of Talendis and her moon gate. Where did she go during the chaos? Is she still alive? I'd say yes. A unique model suggests she will be important later. We know entering a moon gate usually tears a person apart. That's what happened to Rerir the first time. But Talendis, being of Crimson Moon royal blood, may have survived. This time however, I don't think we destroy him with the gate. Only transported him elsewhere. If so, patch 6.2 might finally reveal what really happened to both of them. maybe even giving us more insight into the Universitas Magistrorum. Audioverse has confirmed that Duran will be featured in 6.2 banners. The Nod-krai character stories are tied directly to the Archon quest. And since Duran is a dragon, this could finally lead us into the myth of Nibelung, the Dragon Lord, who created the Three Moon Sister and brought the Abyss to Teyvat. With Duran and Columbina, we can learn how the moon and were born, and how the Eveni Principle later took control of them, and how they meet their end during the War of Vengeance. This could bring Columbina and Duran a little closer, as they don't know each other yet. It's true though that Duran is an artificial being. They don't have really a link with Nibelung, but he's still a dragon. And of course, this could lead us to Rhinedottir, the creator of the original Duran and Albedo Master. Having Duran and Albedo together will be the perfect opportunity to expand on Rhinedottir's story. She was the alchemist who created both of them. Well, the original Duran. Her two masterpieces. But during the Cataclysm, original Duran fled Canria, became corrupted by the Abyss, and was ultimately slain by Devalin at Drop Dragon's Spine. During the event that took place in Silmulenka, we meet Mini Duran, a replica of the original created by witch named Ander's daughter. Compared to the latter, however, he had a much happier ending and became a small dragon. Thanks to him, Albedo prevented the prophecy of Duran's return. In Dragonspire, he drained Duran's earth from its energy and then used it to conduct a ritual to replace the old Duran with Mini Duran, which was a success and became the Duran we know now. Though this new Duran isn't the original, he might still carry his memories. In 6.2, I could see him having dreams or nightmares of his creation, fragment of his past life, under Rhinedottir. Now known as Naberius, the ruler of life, which may have observed his rebirth from afar. We could also have a part where we see Albedo past, like where he got created, or some conversation he had with her after the Cataclysm. Maybe even see the scene where Rhinedottir ate the heart of Naberius and disappeared, only leaving a note which she tasked Albedo with finding the truth of meaning of this world as his final assignment. Perhaps we'll even see Albedo complete this final assignment with the help of Duran. What will she do if he achieves it? Could she appear to congratulate him? Let's also not forget she is R, a member of the Extended Circle, too. Alice and Nicole being an upcoming character and member of this group, there is a high chance we learn more about Rhinedottir. Marka mentioned this location several times during Luna 2, the place where the Knight of Favonius went before the Traveler arrived in Nod-krai, lured by report of the White Hunt. But it was all a trap, likely orchestrated by the Tory. Now that Rerir is gone, Marka may return there, and the Traveler would join him. The lake is said to lie beyond the ruins of the ancient palace, on the edge of the wasteland. A sacred forest nearby hide the royal court of the Selly, which may actually be the ruins of Hyperborea, the fabled golden city, once shared by angel and human, destroyed during the War of Vengeance It's now home only to Sally, fallen angel of a lost age. I mean, it's apparently located in the far north, and Amsvartnir is on the north of Nod-krai. It is presumed to be in or near Shiznaya, and by looking at the map, it's pretty close to it, I'm sure. Columbina will likely accompany us to investigate, with Duran and Albedo joining on to meet the Knight of Favonius. Loma and Jauda might return too. We need a rumor, after all. We could meet the remaining Knight of Favonius as a new faction. Finally see Thomas' mother, then meet Nicole, our mysterious ally, who protected the Moon Scion. If Amsvartnir is truly tied to the Golden City, then Nicole's appearance feels inevitable. And beyond that lake, perhaps the ruins of Hyperborea itself await us. After Rerir defeat, the Traveler might resume searching for the crash site of our mysterious spaceship, possibly using Nefer chessboard or Columbina restore power to glimpse the past. However, since our fight with Rerir, she's too weak to use it now. Whatever happened, I'm sure we're gonna find a clue about the spaceship that will lead us to Amsvartnir. After this, the Traveler and Paimon will meet Varka with Albedo, who want to return to the Knight of Favonius in Amsvartnir. He'll invite us of joining them, saying his knight would be glad to meet the honorary knight in person. Columbina, now accustomed with us, gonna ask if she can come with us, as she seeks some answer in the ruins there. She heard from Loma that in Amsvartnir lay the ruins of Hyperborea, the ancient home of the Scion long ago. Nefer is somewhat curious about those ruins, and may ask Jauda to join too, and thus making a perfect group for an expedition. Without our knowledge, Nicole will follow us. We could see her looking for the group in the distance, leaving Nasha Town. Meanwhile, in the Factory Design Bureau, we see Sandrone and Larkino as she's about to leave Nod-krai, when Dottore finally reappears, saying something like, "Leaving so soon?" Without saying goodbye. Oh, rudes. Sandrone will lose her patience and ask, "Why you there? Suddenly showing up out of your hole. What's wrong with me wanting to see a fellow colleague before his depart?" Larkino then say, "Stop with these pleasantry. Now, Dottore, why you ready here?" Dottore only smile. "I hear you acquired something fascinating. The iridescent moon marrow. And as it happened, I'm very interested in the moon right now." And then the scene cut to black. Later, the Traveler group explore Amsvartnir, meet the remaining Knight of Favonius, including Thomas' mother, and uncover some truth behind the Tree Moon and Nibelung. For Duran, some ideas come to mind even though they might be far-fetched. Duran could suffer vision of his corrupted self, or worse, be captured by the Torre for experimentation. We may discover one of his secret labs, filled with twisted creation, witch hunt remnant, abyssal beast, failed clone. This will bring Albedo memory of him and Rhinedottir when he was going experiment. Then we will enter a room where the Torre, speaking through an intercom, revealed his hand. He manipulated Rerir's resurrection to hunt the remake his full body. Dottore knew he would lead him to the moon marrow, and that he will attack Columbina at some point. He knew she would try to get back her power to fight him, and thus get the 3 moon marrow. However, there was variable he didn't expected. The conversation continued and then something bad is about to happen. But like last time, Nicole will save us in the background. After this, the group gonna tell everything to Varka. This is bad news. But we'll ask help to find more information and what he's planning. Either before the lab or after, we will meet the Wanderer. We're looking for him. At some point, we're gonna open a way to Hyperborea, and we will find something important. A relic, maybe, that Dottori wanted to find all along. Dottori will seize the relic from Hyperborea, achieving his goal and giving life to his creation, his own new moon goddess, similar to when Nibelung created the tree. At his moon goddess awakened, they will try to fight but lose. Nicole showed herself and teleported us in a safe place. Or we don't know where he is and try to figure out how to deal with the situation. Nicole will finally show up as she judged. She can't stay hiding with something dire. Then there's another joining the fray. Alice. They will be then get ready to fight the Torii Grand Creation. It might sound far-fetched, but that's the fun of terrorizing. The Torii obsession with godhood make him the perfect mastermind behind it all. And if Nod-krai revolve around the moon, what's better goal than to create one? So what do you think? Could Genshin Impact 6.2 really bring the Doctor a grand return? Let me know your thought in the comment below. If you enjoyed this theory, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more lore and analysis video. For playthrough and live stream, check out my second channel, Pandragon Valimar Gaming, where I stream most evening at 7 PM EST. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, may the Moon Maiden watch over you. Pandragons offline.